Hey guys, Crypto here from cryptogasmic.com. Just wanted to do a little update today, Thursday, I don't know, what is it, the 13th of June, I think, 14th of June. Um, so yeah, I mean, my analysis really hasn't changed since February. As I keep saying, we're never going to go from 20,000 to 5,000 or 4,000 overnight. So I just want to have a quick look at it today. There's some things happening that I've noticed, which you may be able to use to your um, benefit to maybe make some small little profits. I'm kind of looking at 3 to 10% profits on some little trades at the moment. I did one on Ripple yesterday, which is up about 3%. Um, and just to put it into perspective, I was talking to some real estate agents here on the Gold Coast in Australia over the last couple of days, and you're looking anywhere from 500,000 to a million for an apartment, and a return on investment, they're talking about 3 to 5% per annum. So when you put everything in the big picture, even in a down market, if you can make 3%, 5% in a couple of days or even a week, I think it's time that we get more realistic. If we're looking at, now I'm talking about crypto just from a pure making money and investment strategy. I think right now you have to be more realistic. You'll even talk to people now and you'll say, I made 5% this week. And they'll try and say that is nothing in crypto, but it is when you're seeing red every single day. And I just think that the big mistake people can make is not being realistic. Everybody's looking for that get rich really quick kind of thing. And since the beginning of time, any get rich quick scheme always ends up in tears. All right. So looking at Bitcoin, obviously we're in a huge downward, still in that downward trend. Even if we're looking at this trend here that we were on. Okay, so that is still, these are sort of the levels that we're going to be looking at hitting down in here somewhere, possibly, if we continue on this trend down, even on this trend here, if we look at it here, that really is the trend that we need to break. All right, let's just put a different color on that. Okay, it's probably not the greatest color, but that is a rough kind of overall trend that we're on for now. So no matter what trend you put on it, we're in resistance. Even if it's this smaller time frame trend, everything has gone from support to resistance. The EMA on the daily is resistance, the red cloud, everything is resistance. So I just want everybody to completely understand where we are. Now, we do get bounces. The markets are all about ebb and flow, and it's about catching the ebb and selling the flow and catching the ebb, and if that's what you're trying to do. So what I'm noticing, and maybe you can go through all your charts and try this, but a lot of coins have all retraced to exactly double or triple bottoms, and they're finding little bounces out of that. Okay, so Bitcoin right here, I mean, this is the last stand, and we had it here last time around 6.5, 6.4. We had it here at 6.3. 6,000. So if we start opening and closing below that, once we break this line, I think we're going to find these big red candles blowing down pretty quick. Maybe even through to, this would kind of make sense to these levels down through here, 3.8, sub 4. And if we get down to sub 4,000, I'll sell everything I own and go all in. And you can clearly see that this emotional cycle is real. So if there's one thing that you've learned out of this cycle, is that just buying the dip and hodling it's not the way. It's not the way to make money unless you want to give yourself a heart attack and ride the whole roller coaster. Because guys, when this runs again, everybody will forget about this. And we've been through the 2014 run. I don't need to show you that again. But it's the same thing. So we've had this huge 2 emotional cycles over a 4-year period. So, and it will happen again. And the next parabolic run should That'll be the one that gets us up to that $30,000 to $50,000 mark. All right. So it's all about getting your early seat at the table right now, guys. So flick through and find these important levels, you know. And what's happening is we had Elliott waves planned. And as I always say, no emotions, it either works or it doesn't. But what we're finding is every Elliott wave pattern is now breaking down. You know, we had them like this, and we were hoping for, you know, things like this, bounce off the trend. But it didn't happen. So we were always planned for both ways. So now we're just going through the charts, and basically these Elliott wave patterns are gone, and we're just going to be in free fall until we get another impulsive wave that holds a retracement. Right? Everything else is gambling. You want to catch these runs, and you know we were playing the smaller waves inside the waves, but they're done. It's done now. Okay, so all the signs are bearish. All of the signs are bearish. The market today is 270. We may get that another run back up to 300, but the highs are getting lower and the lows are getting lower as well. And even if we flick through, look, again, it's just red. Red, 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 red. All right. So there's not much joy there, you know, and don't go looking for something that's not actually there, you know. That's strange. We must have got, you know, a really good price on Ripple. And I'll just explain why I got in on Ripple yesterday. I didn't send it out as a signal because it is risky because everything's in resistance. We did buy Ripple as our first trade in the pool yesterday, and it's up a couple of percent. So if we can make 5% in 2 days, I'll close that. And that pool is all about trying to make 100% over the 3 months. So every little 5% here and 5% there really helps. It doesn't really matter what coin you look at. Just flick through all of them, you know, and you can just basically now you want to see which ones are holding their bigger and smaller Elliott waves. ADA is still holding the bigger one, but you can see that the double bottom here, and we've got a small little bounce out of it. So that could be a little strategy for you to use to go through. And here's another one here, right? But these smaller waves within the waves are breaking down. And basically, if you know you break down through these double bottoms, you know, then you're looking at just continuing to fall. And I'm doing this on the daily charts, but you can see everything is really breaking down, right? And that emotional cycle is really playing out. Let's just scroll through a couple of coins. So Bitcoin Cash is broken down. Okay, so now we're looking at the double bottom down here. It's retesting 600. So this is what I mean, guys. I'm sending so much more money every day to the. I'm just taking my money out of the banks and I'm sitting in fiat on the exchanges at the moment, and you know, looking at these levels, this trend line. Once it breaks through there, this double bottom here, and these are usually the points where you'll get a small bounce. Bitcoin is right there now. Right, you can see I've mapped out this area here. So I would expect a little bounce, which has happened from here. That's 6.1 up to 6.4. So these are the only ways to make a bit of money right now. Otherwise, just sit out, guys, and be patient and wait. But you want to start looking at these levels, you know. Here, maybe here, where the last parabolic trend. These previous price action points are really, really important for you to look at. So go through your charts, get ready, be prepared. Don't wait for it to hit and then bounce, because you want to kind of buy as much red as possible. Okay, burst, that bottom in there. Crown. So this is basically what I've been doing today, looking for these spots just so we can make a few percent on a few different coins. And you know, they'll usually come up and bounce into the EMA. You can see where they fall quite a way below the red, and they come and meet the resistance. So you're also looking for charts that have maybe fallen away from the red and are due a little bounce. So putting those couple of pieces of the puzzle together. And it's very small in terms of crypto, you know. Oh, that's not small. But, you know, if you can get those kind of bounces as they work their way down, let's just look at a few more. Dash is right there now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens through this point here. It's right there, as you can see. We could probably give that a little bit of leeway, maybe in there. So those are the kind of things you're looking for. So these complete 100% retracements, but you know, then you've got to look at the smaller picture, and it's already fallen through there. So you're really looking to see what it does in this zone, and this is what you need to do, basically. Right, and just go through and map all of these. Personally, I mean, and again, EOS, nobody wanted to buy it under $6 back here. Everybody wanted to buy it after it was 20, and they were happy to pay 17. Buy the dip and hodl is a strategy for people who don't know what they're doing. You know, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. I mean, I have nightmares about people saying buy the dip, buy the dip. If I had a band, I'd probably call it buy the dip. So, you know, I mean, we could possibly come back down and re-meet sub 6 again. I'm not interested in EOS now until at least sub $8. And I said this the other day. I was looking at sub 12. I didn't get back in. Then I said sub 10. Nobody believed me, and here we are, sub 10. And it's bounced right off of this fib line. So the good thing with EOS at the moment is it's using that blue daily EMA, the 200, as a support. So it's one of the only ones that are. I'm still not convinced we won't break down to the next level. So I'm going to just wait. And if it runs to the moon, then we'll play the swings. But we certainly won't chase it. Ethereum is going to be a real bargain soon. So we've broken down. And it kind of shows the strength or the weakness of a coin once it's breaking down these kind of things. However, we are still within the Elliott wave, and I would be looking for Ethereum again. Yeah, I mean, look, that makes sense. That trend line, right, sort of in there. Retest that 400 and get a bounce out of there. That I would expect that on Ethereum. So I may even get myself a little position in Ethereum there. Maybe. And that's it. And just go through all your coins and look for look, there's another one. Right. And these are the spots you're looking for these bounces. Or you're looking for some sort of support or resistance kind of through these double and triple bottoms and trend lines at the moment. You know, all RSIs are pretty heavily oversold, right? We don't really even need to get into that. So they should be due a bounce, to be brutally honest. And I'm more about trying to get it. And it's difficult because it's not usually the way I trade. Usually I'll let an emotional impulse wave 1 go and try and catch the 2. But we're in such a bear market now that the only way to make some money is this. It's a bit more riskier. And that's it. So you just go through. And, you know, so that one's fallen through. Okay. So you want to just see and look at previous price actions. That's a very, very important point. Look, resistance, support, resistance. Will it be support or resistance now? So any show of support out of here might be a little buy. It does have a little bit of support there. Look. No, it doesn't. Sorry. Yes, it does. Yeah, right out of that area. Well, we've missed it now, but it had a little run. So this is what I'm talking about. You know, if you could have got in here on that support, 5%, boom. You know, go and ask any banker or investor if they're happy with 5% in a day, and see what they say. Litecoin, Bitcoin is one I've been watching really closely, and I nearly took some of this yesterday, um, based on this kind of bottom here, but I didn't. I was very close, but it's the same thing, a little bounce, and it may get a little bounce up to the EMA, just in there. You know, it's a 10% run, maybe even into the red cloud. So you know that's it. So just fly through all those coins, and I'm sure you'll. I mean, Neo at $38. Who would have ever thought we'd see Neo at $38 again? But where's the double bottom for Neo? Okay, it was there. It fell through. So the support is really low. So now we're looking at here. You know, so I would say Neo is going to come back and test that $30, and that's the exact price I bought it for last year and made 400% on it. So it is exciting, guys, but you just need to be patient. Nexus coin is something I'm going to have a little go at personally. This seems to be a pretty important sort of level. So any kind of support out of there, and I'm going to have a little go at that one. Looking for a little sort of run into here. I like the fact that there's a bit of a green cloud painted ahead, bouncing off of this trend line, sort of just through here. All right, so I'm hoping for a bounce off of that trend. The RSI is kissing on the bottom. It's as weak as it can possibly be on the daily. So the 6 hour is just starting to turn. So we're looking for some of these just to reset a little and try to get this momentum over. So Nexus, I'm going to personally have a little go at. And that's, I mean, there's lots of little tips and tricks that we pick up. And if you're not in the VIP group, I highly recommend that you come and join our VIP group. It's a lifetime membership, great support group. We learn charting, do live trading sessions, signals. It's a really good place to be and sort of have a great support group. So OMG, I would be looking in this area as well. It broke down through that little trend that it had going. Yeah. So there's two ways of looking at OMG right now. It's still within the there. Okay. And OMG plays Elliott waves and Fibonacci really, really well. Okay. So those are the areas you want to look at for OMG. Okay. OMG is one of the only ones that's still staying within that Elliott wave, and it bounced out of there as well. So we can draw a little map for that quickly. So it's just all about being prepared, see, and there's no emotions in any of it. And if I have a loss, then I have a loss, because I understand that markets fall, markets run. Look, that would be perfect. Right back to the trend line. Bang. You know, that red cloud in there. So OMG's in with a chance, but that all depends on the overall market. Yeah. All right. So that's basically it, guys. Ripple I got into yesterday here, so we've got a good little profit there. Our 3 hours looking strong. 6 hours just turned. 12 hours just turning. So the potential is there if the momentum can keep going. But all I'm looking for here is a You know, maybe yeah, I mean maybe 4 or 5%. It'd be nice if we can get to the top of the red cloud and make an 8 to 10%. So that's what I'm looking. I did have another buy placed down here. I divided my investment for the pool in this area, these two areas. The second buy didn't go through. It's not to say that it still won't. But that's it. Look for important previous action and things like that. All right, guys. That's basically it. I'll see you all soon. Go through all your charts. Look for those double bottoms. Look for places where it can bounce. Draw some trend lines. Look for areas that, are the same. All right? Okay, guys. Love you all. Take care and speak soon.